sweat that one out? What was the reaction when you saw the name come up and know where you're going?
Yeah, I mean, we all were very excited. It's an honor to play in the NCAA tournament. So, you know, the whole crew was at our house, just like last year. You know, it's becoming a tradition. And, you know, I think our players enjoy it. You know, so yeah, it was an awesome moment, you know, for the program, and very happy for our seniors, for Xylan to have an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament, and we're setting a standard for getting back and competing in these type of events.
What did you learn from last year's experience that'll help you the most this time around?
You know, it's a single elimination setting, so you know, my message is everything you do today in practice, you're going to do it as good as you can do it, like it's your last opportunity. And you know, I let them know. I told the guys that, you know, we don't want this to be our last practice here at you know, in Tempe before you know, of the season. We want to go out and win some games and get back and be here next week practicing, getting ready for the following week.
Coach, how's Remy doing?
Remy's doing well. He was fairly limited today, but that was by design, you know, because you know, we don't want him to have any additional setbacks. He'll get some more reps tomorrow when we get to Dayton, and but I don't even think he would do anything live until the game. But we talked yesterday at the house and again today about how he's feeling, and I have great confidence that when the ball gets thrown up on Wednesday night, that he'll be very close to 100%.
Is this like groin strain? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, you know, we got an MRI, and the MRI did not reveal, you know, a tear, so it's a very mild, you know, strain right now.
Last night, we heard you sat in the same seats. You had everybody sit in the same seats. Is that something you normally?
I mean, I'm fairly superstitious. If you've been, you know, listening to me or following me, I have a lot of things I do on game days, and just you know, very routine oriented. So yeah, I mean, we wanted to try and simulate the same conditions that we had the year before, because you know, we got the result that we were hoping for.
Would you have anything you're doing going forward that you're going to follow?
What do you mean?
Like any superstitions you got going forward, like today, how you load the bus or anything like that?
Nothing particular until, you know, it becomes, you know, game day, and yeah, I mean, we have certain things with guys getting their treatment before we go today, and then tomorrow just you know, all the responsibilities that go with being in the NCAA tournament, the media, and everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This is, I told the guys, this is you know, the greatest tournament in the world. There's nothing like it. After every game you win, the stakes get higher, and it's just you could create memories that'll stay with you the rest of your life.
How much does it help for, like, Remy being there last year, Melo being there last year? How much does that help the team this year as opposed to last year?
See, I think the thing that's helped us is we're in a power conference. We have to go play at Arizona and Oregon and you know, Washington, like really good teams, and our league I think was discredited because teams like Oregon, you know, didn't have Lou King early in the season. All of a sudden they get him back, and McDonald's All-American, and that kind of transformed their team. And so when you play in all these big games, and then we push ourselves in non-conference, you know, we go out and play Kansas and play Mississippi State on a neutral, Utah State. When you've been in a lot of big games and you put it on the line, you hope that you could draw on that experience in the biggest stage. And you know, we've been on that stage, so I'm pretty confident that it won't be it won't be from nerves or inexperience that we wouldn't play well, you know, on Wednesday night.
How different is this St. John's team compared to the one you played last year?
I think there are a lot of you know, the same returning guys, and they're very much perimeter-oriented team, and they, you know, very free-flowing team, and a team that can go on runs because they could score in volume. Very explosive offensive team, and you know, they got an elite player in Shamari Pons, and you know, Justin Simon's great defensive player, and you know, Marvin Clark's tough. I mean, they got, you know, a lot of tough kids, and they could really go, you know, off the dribble. You know, so our defense is going to have our hands full, you know, dealing with those guys.
How will you define success in this tournament?
Well, I mean, it's, so many teams are just, are not playing anymore, and are so, and it's so hard to get to this event. So, in the initial stages of it, you're just so appreciative that you had a season that was worthy of playing in this event. And then you quickly move on, and then it's all about, like, how much work you put in from July right through now, and it's all to give yourself an opportunity to try and win, every week, and see if you could advance to the next week. And there's only 68 teams that have a chance to win a championship, and that's what's driving us right now. We had a great practice. I feel like the guys can't wait to play, and those are, it's a very good sign, at this stage of the year.
Coach, speaking to the basketball program as a whole, are you seeing any parallels with what you built in Buffalo to what you're building here? Are there steps along the way that kind of mirror each other to where you'd like to take ASU? Obviously, you're seeing Buffalo is in the tournament. They're not in play-in game. You left them with quite a legacy. Are you seeing a lot of things? Are you taking things you saw that are showing progression and kind of matching them up with what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of Nate Oates and the job he's done at Buffalo, and what he was able to take what we started to do and just take it to a whole new level. And it's really energized that program. And so yeah, I mean, it's I reminded the team, we put banners up in our practice facility of all NCAA tournament appearances, and you have to look a long way back to see two appearances on that banner. And so it's I take a lot of pride in that, and I'm just we're looking to continue to build on it.
How well do you know Chris Mullen? Is this the Jersey, New York rivalry?
Yeah, Chris is an all-time great, and when I was growing up, he's kind of one of the guys that I watched in the Big East. I always thought I would end up playing in there, and partially it was because watching those great St. John's teams play, and so I got a ton of respect for Chris, as a player, and what he's been able to do to get that team to the NCAA tournament. He's done a great job.
Coach, you ever play against Mullen?
Well, in the NBA with the Dream Team,
Yeah.
thing, the scrimmages and the practices, and that was one of the few times. But he was, just so smooth and could shoot it, and was just a tough guy. So it was, it was an honor to play against him in that setting.
Does this year's team have more momentum going into the tournament than last year's team did?
It's hard to gauge. I felt like, again, I said after our Oregon game, I felt like, you have to, like, rip our heart out to beat us. Like, that's how we were going after it. And, and now we have a chance to get Remy healthy so that, we have one of our best players functioning at a level physically that we need him to, because that hurt us in the Oregon game, just having Remy Martin at like 50 or 60%. So we're hoping we could get him there. He's a key part of what we do, and so that's gonna be dependent on how we proceed in the tournament. But I just think we have a lot of winners in the locker room, and we're more athletic and have more ability to score in the paint than we could last year. The guards were terrific, and we just couldn't get the balance that we now have at both ends of the floor because of just being bigger and more athletic.
You're the only team that's been in the tournament from the Pac-12 last year and this year. Does that give it any additional weight? The only Pac-12 team making the tournament last year and this year.
I don't really get hung up on thinking about that. I'm just kind of look at each year in its own individual season, and I'm just proud that we did something that hadn't been done here in a long time, and going back-to-back tournaments. And it's great for your program when you have multiple years in a row, because then every new group of players that come in, hey, this is what we do here. This is what we expect to do, and that's what we strive for. And the culture of winning and valuing winning and getting to the tournaments like this. So hopefully that's starting to build and develop in our program.
Coach, just in terms of ASU basketball, talk about a little bit about the program, what ASU ladies are doing, what you guys are doing, how that just feeds to ASU basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I've always believed in Arizona State, and that's one of the things that made the decision to come here so attractive was, the city, the weather, the campus, just, I thought it could be a place that you could really attract players to want to go, and it just could be, you know, a hidden gem, you know, because I just believe there's so many great things about living in Arizona and going to school at Arizona State, and I thought that this thing had a potential to get there, and we're starting to make strides.
For a guy like Xylon who's overcome so much and he's a local guy, just how happy are you that he's got a chance to finally play in the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted it so bad. I mean, it was upsetting for me to watch him as we weren't being called, and just seeing how he was reacting, because I know how much winning means to him, and getting to this tournament so he could showcase, you know, his abilities in this event, and he's going to lay it all out there, you know, on Wednesday night. You know, that guy has got, you know, tremendous qualities and of a winner, and tangible things that he brings to our team, and so I'm very, you know, I'm very excited, you know, solely for that, you know, that he has this opportunity to play in the tournament, like you said, just with everything he's had to go through this year.
Coach, what do your players ask you about your tournament history?
You know, we haven't done a ton of that. Like I've showed some videos at times when things were not going great this year of me playing in Final Fours, and the impact that had on my life and changed my life. You know, doors open for me that never would have opened if I didn't, you know, cut down nets and win championships, and the game has been very good to me, and so I try and remind them of, you know, the impact of being that successful, you know, as a player, and what that could do for you, you know, in your own life.
So they do know who you are.
I mean, I showed them the video. They were sleeping during the video. I think they saw it.
Coach, people can't get enough of that video of the team celebrating, obviously, once the selection was announced. Can you paint a picture of what it was like kind of riding that roller coaster until finally hearing that name call?
Yeah, I mean, we were cluttered with a group of teams, and you try and like evaluate your season relative to theirs, and so you're seeing some names pop up, and you're like, oh, really? They, you know, so, you know, and then you know that you might be getting pushed down, and then you know, the slots are disappearing, you know, every segment before it goes to commercial. So you're just like literally dying on the inside during each commercial break, and no one's saying anything. It's like you could hear a pin drop in there, and then you know that there's very few lines left. And I just had a feeling once we saw Buffalo at the 6, knowing there was going to be an 11 next, okay, I see what's happening here. And I kind of knew at that point that we were going to be in, but it took a while, obviously.
Do you sense any extra chip on the team's shoulder having to do the playing game?
You know, I just feel blessed, and I think the guys did. If you saw the reactions of everyone, we want to play in the tournament. You know, we pack bags to get us to Sunday. You know, and that's ultimately the goal for every team. If they don't have that goal, then they probably shouldn't be playing in this tournament. And but we're going to go to Dayton, and we're going to pack our bags, and hopefully we're going to Tulsa next, and that's how we're approaching it.
Did you notice Remy had a very low-key reaction when your team was announced? He just sitting there sipping his drink?
I saw it like after the fact. Like I was, again, trying to find people to hug and celebrate with, and eventually noticed that Remy was still sitting there. You know, he's very calculated in what he was thinking. Maybe he's, you know, I don't know, contemplating, you know, what he's going to do in a few days. You'd have to ask Remy that.
What does it mean to you that you'll be going against Buffalo?
Well, I see. That's what I mean. Like
Right.
This is my challenge. Everyone, you know, comes to Dayton, or, you know, and if we're lucky enough to get through, then follow me to Tulsa, and then I'll be happy to talk about that. But